Let's do this.
It's time for Hanging with Langan.
I like that she's got a big dirty mouth that gets her in trouble.
Wow.
Stop me 'cause I'm having a good time.
Hey, you guys, bonjour. This is the international special show of Hanging with Langan tonight. This is in honor of a dear friend of mine, Jeannie Edmunds. This is her book launch celebration party. We have a cavalcade of characters. I'm so excited to introduce you to her and introduce you to the people who will be here tonight. Let me set this up for you. If you are watching this on the .com, please share it. We are going to have such a blast tonight. I want to let you know that Jeannie Edmunds, her book is called Start Me Up. And what she does is she has been mentoring people and companies for over a decade, particularly startups, thus the name of the book, Start Me Up. So tonight we have invited a number of people behind the scenes of some of the companies that she has worked with and is currently working with, as well as some people from her personal life. We have her daughter who dances with fire. We have her good friend, actress Wendy McKenna, who they worked on a project together. So the book, it's part startup and advice. And if you have questions or comments, Jeannie will, address those. But it's also largely a memoir because Jeannie Edmunds is living and has lived a crazy life with tales to tell. She went from living in a small town, about 1,000 people, but no professional connections. Then she goes on to become a CNN reporter in Seoul, Korea. Why not? Then she appeared in a Korean soap opera. Yeah, why not? And then she just happened to be held up by machine gun in El Salvador. She sang at the White House. She had a baby at 45, and she just found new love on Tinder in her 60s. So we're going to have a really great time here tonight. Like I said, her friend Wendy McKenna from Sister Act and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood will be here. You'll meet other people behind the startup companies. All right, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this like lightning fast elevator pitch where they get 30 seconds to tell you what their business, what they're about, because that's what happens in the business world. You got to be able to tell somebody in 30 seconds what your gig is, what you want, and then we'll have a follow-up question. We'll keep it moving along, and then we'll meet her mom, who has performed on the Silver Circuit, was in the movie Dumb and Dumber. We'll see her daughter dance with fire, because every daughter should do that. So whether you're starting a new business, a new job, or just starting over in life because it's knocked you down, Start Me Up. It's funny, it's inspiring, it's poignant, and it is like so much going on in there because that is how Jeannie's brain works. So I'm going to bring her on, and I'm going to let you know first how I know her. I've been in the comedy and broadcasting business for a long, long time. So I've had agents when they said, what are we going to tell the networks about your age? Even though the guy was like 127,000 pounds and 150 years old, what are they going to tell them about me? So I said, tell them I am the hottest 90-year-old or the most haggard 18-year-old you've ever met. So Jeannie called me up. She had seen me online somewhere, said, I like your blend of comedy and broadcasting chops. She submitted me for The View. She worked her connections. I came this close. I was in the books for a week of guest hosting when the executive producer got the boot literally 2 weeks ahead of time. That's okay. That's all right. God has a plan. Wish she had a better party planner. My friend, Jeannie Edmunds.
Thank you. That's showbiz, Maureen. You know how that works.
No, it's not showbiz because I didn't get in the showbiz.
It's showbiz, but it's the way I've had people get fired. I mean, and people who've hired me get fired, and that's just the way it goes. It's like startup companies. Same thing happens. The founder gets booted out, the money comes in, things change. You got to roll with the punches.
All right. So why did you write this book? I mean, because it's largely a memoir with advice that can be gleaned in terms of startup.
Well, I started it about 6 years ago as a personal memoir. And then I realized that, if you're not a celebrity, people are really not interested. Who cares? I'm like up against Steve Jobs and everybody else's famous memoir around there. So I wanted to write a business memoir because really what happened in my business life was really important to me. And it was really, I had an incredible business life for somebody who came from a small town with no connections. And, as you said, so, but I wanted to add some personal stories too, because I wanted people to be able to relate to it. I mean, I've been a wife, a mother, a widow, a divorcee. I've been through.
I've been a wife, a mother, a widow.
I've been all of it, right? And so I've had all these experiences that people can relate to. And even if they haven't had the kinds of experiences that I've had in business, I think they can relate to the feeling of success, the feeling of failure, the feeling of being supported, the feeling of not being supported, you know? People can relate to that. So I just wanted something that people could grab onto. If you're only going to read like a maximum of 1,000 books in your lifetime, you don't want to waste your time reading some boring book.
Oh, this isn't boring. I said to my
boring.
mother, respectfully, okay, he just died. Her husband just passed from a brain tumor. But wait a minute, she's getting gunned down in El Salvador. Hold on. Her daughter's dancing with fire. Wait a second. Okay, so hold on. I mean, it was insane.
I know. One of my friends who read a very early version said, it's like holding onto the back of a speedboat and going through your brain, the way your brain works.
But you said you dealt with ADD growing up. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. And still do. I had to find some workarounds,
And you did. So what I did for you is I set up a very international background. We could be at a cafe in Paris. We could be in Prague. We could have just escaped gunmen, and we just have to calm down and find a place to have a bit of a respite.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Have a little cappuccino. Exactly.
All right. I want to meet some of the people and the people behind the companies that you have worked with.
Okay.
And here are the rules, folks. Startup Jeannie, her book Start Me Up on Amazon. We're going to meet some of these people. They're going to have 30 seconds. Are you timing them, Jeannie? They get 30 seconds to get
30 seconds. I'm timing them. Okay.
And then we'll follow that up with a question. Okay. Now, on deck, I see that she's ready. I feel like this is not her first time on air. I feel that she won Miss Photogenic. We don't know. Okay, I'm going to set this up for you. Her name is Kiku Chaduri. I hope Chaduri. I want to say it and be respectful. Chaduri. Kiku Chaduri. She's the co-founder of Shaz and Kicks. And if I said that wrong, she'll correct me. It's a hair wellness company. I need some wellness in this head of hair. It's reimagining hair care inspired by ancient Indian rituals. When Kiku is not busy creating innovative formulas rooted in age-old Ayurvedic, did I say that right, recipes, she's reading her favorite newspapers and magazines in print while she takes a bath. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kiku Chaduri.
Hi, hello. So happy to be here.
Did I say your name right?
Chaduri, yeah, you got it. You got almost everything correct. So no worries.
The name of your company is Shaz and Kicks?
That is correct.
Okay, the clock has begun. 30 seconds. What is Shaz and Kicks?
Shaz and Kicks is a brand new hair wellness company that's co-created by myself and my sister. We are bringing the ancient rituals and formulas that we grew up with, that has been passed down from our grandma, passed down by generations of Indian women, and we are reimagining them for the modern day consumer, the modern day world.
Okay, now I have to ask, what are those rituals that you put? Because in Irish, we have water and it makes it frizzy. Those are our all-time rituals. What are your all-time Indian rituals that you're bringing forth with that word that I can barely say, Ayurvedic, that you see?
Ayurvedic, yeah. So the Ayurvedic science is really rooted in harnessing the power of plants. We use indigenous plants that come from the Indian subcontinent that are incredibly nutritious. They are rich in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial properties. We synergistically formulate them, and we kind of reimagine them in the modern day world in kind of traditional ways. You make them in very much real time in your kitchen. You use things from your garden and from the bazaar. In this day and age, we don't have access to those kind of ingredients, nor do we have the time to be hand making them. So we do all the heavy lifting for you. And so what is left is incredibly nutritious, plant-based hair care products that really take care of your entire hair ecosystem, root to tip, inside and out. Now,
I know I'm only allowed to ask you one question. However, henceforth, moreover, can it be for non-Indian hair?
Absolutely. The whole concept behind our company is the fact that we are culturally rooted, but Ayurveda is universal. It is for all people, all hair types, for every ethnicity. These are wonderful plants that are rich in nutrition, that are incredibly beneficial for everybody in this whole entire world.
Well, I am glad that you told us that. I'm going to keep you here while I ask Jeannie, how did you help Kiku and company?
I'm still helping them. I mentored them through an organization called SKU in Austin, which helps consumer packaged goods, anything that goes into a grocery store, health food store, Sephora, those types of places.
Yeah.
And so they went through a 12-week program, and I was part of a mentor team of experts that surrounded them. But they were already on fire before we got to them, honestly. They only started the company about 7 months ago, and they've been in so many magazines already. I mean, Kiku can tell you all the publicity they've gotten for free. I mean, they haven't done advertising yet.
So where do people get their products? Online, in stores?
Currently online. Yeah, Kiku can go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, so we are primarily online. You can go to www.shazandkiks.com. That's SHAZANDKIKS.com. You can also find us on Urban Outfitters and Free People. Those ship to Canada. So if you're a Canadian, you're able to get some free shipping over there. And we are launching at Credo Beauty in a month. So we're going to be in all doors of Credo Beauty and online. So those are all different ways that you can access us.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Kiku. Shaz, A-N-D, Kiks, K-I-K-S. Go check them out. A startup company. Thank you, darling. So Jeannie Edmunds, my friend, her book, Start Me Up, on Amazon. And it really is an ADD book, but you really see how much, no, it is. It's like,
it's on brand. It's on brand for me.
But it is. And you know what's really cool, Jeannie, is when people read this and see, I'm amazed because I know you, how much you accomplish just by following your mind and your lead. Like you really do accomplish, and you like jump in feet first and sort everything out.
Well, I don't know what made me that fearless, honestly, but something did, and I really don't know what it is. I think it's either in your nature or it's not. And if it's not in your nature, you need support, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with, they have an idea, they have a passion, they've found a product market fit, but they just need a little boosting, right? So I see myself as kind of the wind beneath their wings. I'm trying to get them from the level that they're at right now to the next level. With Shaz and Kiks, they were already on fire, and I bet you'll see them in Sephora very soon.
Well, those are some of the questions I have after we have a couple other people. I know you're the wind beneath people's wings. Okay, Bette Midler or Barbara Hershey, whichever one you are. But I want to enter in, again, Jeannie helps people with startups, and with these different companies and people she's bringing on, it's an opportunity to figure out everybody's doing something different. And how do you get there? And what does it take? And where do people fall short or where do they soar? So our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, and if anybody has you don't have a phone on, do you, Jeannie, in the background here?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. This gentleman coming to the stage, Jared Jones, he's the co-founder, the COO at Noir Dior Cosmetics. Now, this is one of the fastest growing natural skincare brands for people of color in the current e-commerce market space. I'm seeing like cosmetics, hair, things are happening. All right, Jared Jones, talk to us. Hello, darling.
So
all right.
Cosmetics. So
oh no! Well, something's happening, Jared World. We're getting a little.
No.
You have two sources of audio up, or only one?
Only one. Can you hear me? No.
Something is askew.
And maybe we'll come back to Jared, huh?
Yeah, give him another second. Could it be your earbuds or something, Jared?
This wobble.
All right, we'll take this out. Let's sort it out. We'll move back in. We'll get to. All right, I'm going to come back to you, Jared. All right, so this happens because this is what we're about.
That was spooky.
He's very R2D2, wasn't it, Jeannie? It was very R2D2. I'm sorry, because I want to hear what he has to say. So we're going to keep him over here. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the Hanging with Langan stage. Our next guest, his name is Jason Domain. He's the founder of Petal. I'm very curious about his company. He's a former Internet of Things entrepreneur, whatever that is, who came to the problem of plastic pollution when he ran out of hand soap one day. This was what happens. You run out of hand soap and it leads you to plastic solutions. I don't know. That's just what happens. Now he is the CEO of Petal, a refillable, natural. I keep hearing natural going on in this. There's a tone there. Zero waste foaming hand soap. Okay, I'm bringing him on. 30 seconds. What is Petal?
Hello, how are you guys? Can you see me? So Petal is a hand soap. What we did was we removed water from hand soap. So 97% of what you buy in hand soap is just water, and you're left with about this much concentrate. And we made these nice aluminum bottles. You simply, I'll even do a demo for you guys. You simply put a pot in these guys. It's filled with water already. You shake it up, and then if you can see here, you can wash your hands. And that's the idea. It's natural, it's refillable, and it's zero waste hand soap. And I'm going to rinse my hand back here while you ask me the next question.
Okay. And while for those who may be listening on a podcast, just an audio podcast, what he did is took a little pod that might look like you put in a dishwasher, and he popped it into a refillable, a canister, chucked some water in there, shook it up, shake it up, baby, and now uses that. So no more reuse. The bottles aren't being thrown out, the plastic. Your pitch in 15 seconds, it is so damn clear what you're doing. And I want to buy it because it's environmentally friendly. It really is.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, it's simple. And now that it's, now that you see it, you think how haven't we been doing that all along? Because we're throwing out so much plastic bottles, and we're shipping around water unnecessarily, which is creating a lot of carbon unnecessarily.
With petal.com, with petal, as in a flower, rose, petal. Yeah, so tell me, how did you come up with this? Again, so simple. Like if somebody could make pantyhose that don't run, but nobody wears pantyhose anymore. You know what I mean? Like what? So I have to go around with varicose veins? It doesn't matter. So about you, what, like how did this happen one day? Like you were just...
I went to wash my hands, and here's the bottle. Again, if you're on a podcast, I'm hoping, well, I should show the label. I'm holding up an empty plastic bottle of soap, and this is the one. And I went over to my wife's vanity. She didn't have any. I was in my guest room holding 2 empty plastic bottles of soap, washing my hand from the third one, agitated, feeling kind of gross, quite frankly. And then realized, look at the waste that I'm creating. And all I'm going to do is go refill this from a giant plastic bottle that I have under the sink that's got all this water. And it dawned on me, there's probably an easier way to do this. And I didn't start with Tide Pods as the option, that is the technology we use. But as I was kind of thinking of a better way in washing clothes one day, I'm like, why couldn't we just put concentrate in here and people use tap water? And a year and a half later, it took a while, but a year and a half later, I had my first product.
So does it dissolve? It just dissolves in the water. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I know I'm only allowed one question, but I still am very curious that you can and Jeannie, you can pop in on this too. You can have a fantastic idea, which you do. I had the idea of a double bubble love umbrella in 4th grade where you had a little slide and you could kiss somebody you loved on the other side. Didn't come to fruition. So how did you make this? You gotta get people to back it, and you gotta get money. Like, how do you even know how to begin with something like that?
Yeah, you just start getting on the internet. You start finding people who will answer the phone. You start asking them for 5 more people that probably will help you. And then you find somebody like Jeannie, because when I met Jeannie, I thought I had a good idea. I've never done a consumer good before. Internet of Things. I'm a technology guy. And I wasn't quite sure I could pull it off, quite frankly. But when we met and chatted, she just filled me up with a lot of energy and confidence. And she helped me with some connections and everything else too. But it's the wind beneath my wings was the true, a true feeling.
There we go. There we go.
It gave me a shot in the arm.
So where are you with it all now? What's happening?
Yeah, so we just we just raised some money, to your point, for some venture capitalists. We're selling direct online. We're on Amazon now. I'm actually going into some spas. We just got a deal with Margaritaville and Palm Springs. They're going to be using it in their therapist rooms. So the massage therapists will wash their hands with Petal before you get your massage. So we got a lot of traction. Just really
digging this, dude. I'm digging this. Domain, Domain with petal.com. You're rocking it. So Jeannie, what kind of dough can he make doing something like this? This could be like international in every hotel, like where we are right now outside of Paris.
Absolutely. In Paris. Absolutely everywhere. And I'll tell you one thing about this product. I've had one in my kitchen. Maybe I don't wash my hands often enough, but I haven't even replaced the pod in months and months. I mean, honestly, it's kind of embarrassing, but I know. But the first time I tried it, it makes your hands feel really soft. I don't know what it has in it, Jason, but it has some kind of cream in it as well as soap. So your hands feel really smooth.
Yeah,
I feel
it's great.
I'm doing a promo.
No, it's great. It's grapeseed oil. That's what causes
grapeseed
that
oil. I see.
But what kind of buck do you have to put into something like this to make a company? Like, did you double mortgage your home? Did you because people might have a great idea. Like, what kind of money do you have to make something like this happen?
I got to product with only about $20,000 of my own cash. Now that wasn't manufacturing it and building it. That was the part where I spent a couple $100,000 of my own cash. But I didn't have to risk that until I was able just to do a bunch of business development work, nights and weekends. I had a full-time job at the time, and found you talk some people that have the facilities into believing into it, and they're investing their time, but they're willing to do that because they know the orders will come out on the other side.
All right. Well, you better believe you're giving me a discount because I'm going to westpedal.com. I'm not joking. I'm going to support you, but I'm getting
I love it
because you know how much I'm getting paid to do this right now. All right. You want to know? Tell me. Really happy for you. Love hearing your success, and I wish you much continued success. Rock on.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Jeannie.
But Jeannie, somebody just said the comments here. If you got a comment, a question, this is so true. You are the connection queen.
The connection queen. You know what? I have always told people I see a plug, I want to find a socket. That's just me, you know?
Yes.
I get a lot of joy out of that. I get a lot of pleasure out of connecting people who need to meet. It's like the Yenta. I'm the startup Yenta.
You're the startup Yenta. I want to see if we can give Jared another shot here because I really want to hear about his company. Yeah. I feel sad that we had tech issues. I almost wept aloud, but I felt that would be inappropriate. Okay, Jared Jones, co-founder of Noir Dior Cosmetics, natural skincare brands for people of color in the current e-commerce market space. I'm hearing rock and roll in the background. Oh, man, there's rock and roll happening. All right. How are we going to handle this? Okay.
No.
This isn't happening. It's such a delay.
No.
Maybe your internet is.
Maybe we should ask him to call in on his phone.
Hey, you know what, Jared? Why don't you get your phone? Get off this stupid, smelly computer and try to connect with us on your phone. You want to do that? Because right now I feel like I'm talking to Helen Keller on one of those sound machines or like somebody who smoked for a really, really long. Take out your earplugs, somebody's saying. You took out the earplugs, didn't you? Don't use those stupid smelly earplugs. Get rid of them. $250. I just returned mine. I'm not even kidding. Shut them off.
It's
like Stephen Hawking is alive.
I
mean that. That's good. He's going to do it on his phone. Right. We're putting it back when you're coming back with your phone because we want to help you. Without our, I really want to talk about his business and what he's doing.
I know, it's a good story.
So we'll have to get back to him and his story. We had the domain on. Next up on Hanging with Langan with Start Me Up author Jeannie Edmunds, available on Amazon.com. Before we bring on our next guest, I do want to let you folks know Hanging with Langan is supported by those of you who listen. It allows me the opportunity to bring on great guests like Jeannie and others. So if you're so inclined, people have been kind asking how they can support the show. If you go to, best way is to go to patreon.com, Patreon. That's patreon.com and then / Maureen Langan. And starting at $5 a month, you make a small donation. It's monthly. If you do 10, you'll get backstage, dish the dirt with, believe me, some of the stuff these comics tell me behind the scenes, you're like, what? So if you get in on that, or if you want to get in at $25, I'll send you a Don't Make Me Hate You t-shirt because I don't want to hate people. They make me hate them. I'm a victim. I'm all about love. It's what you do that causes me to hate you. So get on in, start in on the, Carol Burnett level, go all the way up to the Joan Rivers level. We'll do comedy shows for you or broadcast coaching. As you see, I coach people who have bad sound. I tell them to call me on the phone. I have a lot of ways to help people. And the other way is if you want to help, please go to PayPal or Venmo for a one-time donation. PayPal.me, Mo Langen, Venmo at Mo Langen. Those are the ways that you can help. And it means a lot. And I'm very, very grateful. So thank you. Back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. The link for Jeannie's book, Evelyn just posted it in the chat, so you can see it there. And I, of course, will be putting it again on the .com on Facebook. All right. So coming up now, we're going to introduce a woman named Karen Werner. She is with Koya, Koya. I'm going to let her tell us what it is. I'm not going to explain anything. I'm going to bring on Karen, and she's going to tell us what this free app called Koya is. Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So what is Koya?
Koya, yeah, I'm happy to tell you. Koya is a hyper-personal connection platform for loved ones, small, medium businesses, and brands. So our patent-pending technology enables contextual touch points through location-specific messages and micro gifts. So say you're like having a hard week, Maureen, and I know you, we're good friends, I'm thinking about you, I wish I could be there and give you a hug, but I live in Texas, so I can't. I could send a Koya to your favorite coffee shop, and the moment you walk in, you would trigger that geofence, which would unlock the Koya message, video message from you letting you know I'm thinking about you, as well as a micro gift letting me buy you coffee that day. So even though I couldn't tangibly be there, I could still utilize technology to show up.
So you would have something like Koya, an app that you download for free, and then you want to buy me a nice bottle of red wine because it's been like long day's journey into night, but
Absolutely.
like a month. So how do I know I got a gift from you? What's happening to me?
So currently both parties have to have the app downloaded in order to send and receive Koyas, but that won't forever be the case. You can also utilize the web version, which will let a Koya show up in your text message. And to do that, you just go to getkoya.com and you can send a Koya based on time instead of location. So I could choose a date and time, say like 5 o'clock, because I know, end of day, you're going to want that wine. And then you get a text message letting you know that I sent you a Koya.
And is it like a Venmo or a PayPal where you pay for that product somehow through your app?
Yeah, so right now with the app, we're utilizing PayPal, and with the web version, we utilize Venmo. So it's just peer-to-peer. That way we can scale faster and we can support small, medium businesses in the process, not just bigger businesses that could actually take our scale with us in the POS system.
I want to get nice things, so I'm really all into this.
Well, then download it and I'll send you something.
Yeah, I will. Let's everybody download it. Everybody all together. Do the hokey pokey, and let's download. It's Koya. Getkoya.com though. It's Getkoya. So let's put that on a banner because I do my own tech here. I used to work and make money doing, but now I just do. I used to be a broadcaster at Park Avenue. It doesn't matter. God has a plan. I wish you had a better party.
In my book.
No, I want my own tech. Are you seeing this? What I'm doing right live. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Do you know what I mean? Here we go. Look, that's what I just did.
Fancy.
So ridiculous. That's why I make fun of myself.
Amazing.
Getkoya.com, and it's a way for you to share gifts or that let people know in the moment you're thinking of them. Like when you guys go to PayPal or Venmo at Mo Langen, or when you go to Start Me Up at Amazon to get Jeannie's book. But what I don't get is how do you get that coffee to me or that bottle of wine to me?
Yeah, through geofence technology. So
what
geofence technology. So you can set a circular location around wherever I'm wanting to send it. So the place that you're going to walk into to get a drink after work, I could set a geofence around it. So the moment you walk in that front door, you would unlock that. You would trigger the geofence, which would deliver the message to you. So unlike Venmo or PayPal, it's not just transactional. We have the hyper-personalization piece. So that way, not only do I get to buy your drink, but I'm also able to give you some encouragement, some words of affirmation to let you know I'm thinking about you, which, in my personal opinion, is half the fun.
Is it like Cameo meets Venmo meets a really great heartfelt gift?
Kind of, yeah. I like the way you described that.
Thank you, Maureen. That was very good. I market people in the geo-fence world.
Yes,
All right.
we should hire you.
Please, no, I want to do this for free. I'm here to help you.
Thank
All right,
you.
listen, Karen Werner, Koya, Koya, and it's Get, Koya. Let's all download the app and just see what it's all about. What do we have to
Free to
lose?
use,
Right?
free to download. Why not?
You're rocking it, Karen. All the best to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
That was cool. So, Jeannie, now you've worked. Tell me what you've done with working with Koya as a startup, Jeannie.
All the startups have something called a deck, which is basically
They
a
have a what?
PowerPoint, a deck.
Oh, I thought you said
DECK.
something bad.
No, a PowerPoint that they tell their story with for investors, for people who are interested in coming in as partners, perhaps. And I help them work on their deck. I help them work on their user experience with their app. There were some hiccups that they were having, and so I was giving them some feedback on that. They were the first company that I met in Texas, actually, at the Capital Factory. The Capital Factory.
Tell us what that is. Yes.
They used to be a startup accelerator, which is an organization that helps companies grow. They invest in them. They take a piece of the business and they help them grow. Now they're called Capital Factory Ventures, and they invest at a much higher level. But they also have an accelerator piece of their business right now. And these people had just presented, Koya had just presented, when I first walked in the door, actually at Capital Factory. And I was so impressed because there are several types of companies, Maureen. There are the for-profit companies, there's nonprofit organizations, and then there's something in between called the social impact companies. So they're a for-profit company, but they have a social impact, and they're spreading kindness. That's their brand, to spread kindness.
Oh,
I know you don't want people to make them hate you, right? I know that.
Yeah, my brand is different. My brand is "Don't make me hate you."
Yes.
Because I want to spread kindness, but you make me hate you. So if you stop making me hate you, I can spread kindness.
You could spread kindness. That's true. Yeah, that's
See?
great.
You see,
But there's some really cool other companies like that, in Capital Factory. For example, there's Blended Sense, which is a company that does they do videos for small businesses that can't really afford like a big famous, big expensive video to get their message out in social media. There's another company that I really love in Austin called Clean Cause. This is a can. 50% of their profits go to support people in recovery. And the guy who founded this company had addiction problems. He's in recovery. And he decided when he started this company, he wanted to help people get clean, get sober. So this is a Yerba Mate, a sparkling Yerba Mate. And you can buy
What's
it
a
in Whole
Yerba
Foods.
Mate?
A Yerba Mate is a kind of tea that the South American Indians drink to make them all like caffeinated, right? It has a little bit of caffeine in it, right?
Okay.
So I drink this instead of coffee in the morning. This is a blackberry flavor. I love this.
Clean.
And Clean Cause. Clean.
That's a really
I don't
cool.
see cause on it. Yeah.
Clean Cause.
Yeah.
Very cool, Jeannie.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been learning a lot, because during this whole pandemic and revamping my website, maureenlangen.com, focusing on corporate hosting and moderating and using much more of my broadcasting background and my public speaking background, I have found working with small business associations, you just call them, you guys, and oftentimes they will pair you with somebody to mentor you for often free. And it's mind-boggling. I feel so blessed to be working with these people but you start to learn that there are places that will help with funding. There are places that you have to start to immerse yourself to understand, what's an accelerator program? Tell somebody what is you hear that word all the time. What is an accelerator program?
Well, there are incubators and there are accelerators, and incubators are for the baby kind of neonatal. I've got an idea, but I don't have a proof of concept or anything. So that's what incubators are for. They incubate companies until they get big enough to go to the accelerator stage. And some of them never even go into an accelerator. Some people don't ever want to take investment. They just want to go along and own 100% of their company. And that's perfectly legitimate. You don't have to take investment in your company. But if you want to grow and have a big company like Petal has a lot of opportunity on the upside. A lot of these tech companies can start with very little investment. I know Jason said that he put 20,000 in and then 200,000 to manufacture, but you can start, you can build an app with almost nothing if you can code, if you know how to code. And you don't need more than 2 or 3, 4 people in a company to make it successful. And then you try to sell to somebody else, or you try to partner with another company. You get
but there are
investment.
places that will guide you with that. Because
Yes, and
somebody's listening going, I don't know how to partner with somebody. I don't know how to incubate. So it's really getting Pratosh-com, as my mother calls it, and seeking out advice from a small business association, reading about it to realize, sometimes you think it's only for other people, and you don't realize it's out there for you as well. For you,
it's absolutely out there for you. I mean, absolutely. And there are a lot of people who have ideas and think, I could never bring it to market, but you can. I mean, you can, and you should do it before anybody else does it. I'll tell you a story. I had an idea about 10 years ago for a product called Doggy Goggles, because my dog was sticking his head out the window, and letting the air fly and the stuff getting in his eyes. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool if you had like the leather Snoopy goggles, for dogs? Well, sure enough, somebody did it about 5 years later. I never did it. I should have done it. Maybe I could have made a fortune in doggy. People will buy anything for their pets. You're a dog lover.
Let me tell you something. If I were going to open a franchise of any sort, it would be a dog pet. I don't know about the parakeets. I think I'll just stay focused on dogs. I don't know if I can. I can't handle that. But I'm just saying the dogs, I love them. And it would be such a connect because and then people would spend $587 million.
Exactly.
Before we're going to get, in just a couple moments, we're going to get to Jeannie's mom and her daughter video of her daughter who dances with fire, and actress Wendy McKenna, a good friend of Jeannie, who they worked on a project together. So it's going to be really cool to talk about that. So, and a girl who was nice to Jeannie after all the bullies in school were so mean. It's like, This Is Your Life. What is this? This is like that, that show? It's so hysterical.
It's like that. But also I was thinking, it's like, on Amazon when they do that look inside the book, but this is an actual look inside. You can actually see the people in the book. You can see the stories come to life.
I do want to give a shout out because unfortunately we did all this check tech beforehand, and one of the guests who has his own startup company, Jared Jones, was having tech issues. So let's just I'm going to read a little bit, show a picture of his company. It's Noir Dior. So the Noir, next word, Dior, D''OR Cosmetics. He's the co-founder, and this is one of the fastest growing natural skincare brands for people of color in the e-commerce market space right now. So just check it out for him. Show some support and love. Unfortunately, we weren't able to gab with him. So I thought that was really nice of me.
Can I tell you what I learned working with that company? It's another Capital Factory company.
Oh.
I had no idea that if you have more melanin in your skin, you need different kinds of things to help you with skincare problems.
Mm-hmm.
So Jared's partner, Ceci, came up with these formulas that are specifically for dark skin. Mm-hmm. And they went from nowhere to 100,000 customers in no time. And it's totally on e-commerce. They take a few ads here and there, but they're doing really well just the two of them. You don't need a lot of people to start a company.
Good for them. I hope that we'll be able to chat with them another time. I will tell you this. I have a ruddy complexion, as they call the Irish. And I went to my dermatologist who said she could get the red out of my face, which I thought that was so hurtful. Do people say I can get the brown out of your face? Nobody ever says that. But Irish, we'll get the red out of your face. Like, who said that wasn't hurtful? But the thing is, then this is what you do. You buy makeup, you get the red out of your face, and then you put on blush. I have no idea what's happening. I know why people, they're screwing my head.
That's right.
They're screwing with my head.
That's
all right.
right.
Are you ready to get to the personal family portion of the show, Jeannie?
I am ready.
Okay. So let me see. I think I know who we're bringing on next. Jeannie's mother. Are you ready for this, you guys? Jeannie's mother is here, Ellen Ranson. And I'm still getting some feedback. Is that coming from you, Jeannie? You only have one source of audio on?
One thing open. No,
Only
don't
one thing, Jeannie. We've had this discussion.
Don't forget Wendy.
I'm not going to forget Wendy. Do you want Wendy next?
No, whatever it's your show.
It's your show.
Sorry. Is that message from me? Thanks.
Yeah,
a
don't
lot.
make me hate you. I already talked to you about the audio
Okay,
issue.
all right.
Right, we'll save
It's
the family for last.
I can't help it. I can't help it, Maureen. You know, two producers together. What can we do?
It's good though. We get stuff done. All right, let's bring on Wendy. Wendy McKenna, chorus sister act. What was it? Mary Margaret Mary, Maureen,
Mary
and
Margaret.
Bridget McGillicuddy. It was one of them. And Bridget, Maureen, Doreen, Noreen, Florine, Bridget. Okay. And she, oh God, I love this movie. She was in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, the story of Mr. Rogers. It's so freaking gorgeous. Like, how come she never ages? I know that you two, you're friends, but you started a popsicle company back in the day. So I want to talk about that. Wendy McKenna, ladies and gentlemen, Wendy McKenna. Hello. Unmute yourself, darling. There you go. You're good to go.
Am I good?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
How come you always look so gorgeous? I want to look like you just a day in my life.
I'm really hard at it.
Genetics.
Really odd. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Ask me some questions.
All right, I'll ask you. Well, Jeannie, you told me that you and Wendy McKenna had a popsicle. You worked on popsicles. That's what I got. Talk to me. What did you do, Wendy? There were popsicles.
Okay, so my daughter and I started, we didn't set out to start a company, but we set out to make some healthy recipes. And long story short, all the moms on the carpool line at Ruby School were like, what is Ruby eating? Why is Ruby having a popsicle in the morning? Like, she's getting out of the car with a popsicle. You're a terrible mom. And I tried to explain to them there was spinach in it and kiwi and there was no sugar, and everybody started ordering them. In the meantime, on a parallel path, I had met Jeannie a few years earlier. Maybe our kids were 3 or 4, Jeannie. And our kids became friends. And I had watched her I fell in love with her, first of all, like love at first sight. I did. And I watched her go from company to company to company, making lateral moves, going up the ladder. I mean, she was just so light on her feet. And I was not a business person. I was an actress. But I'd always been interested in being an entrepreneur. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So cut to, I have this product. I tell her about it, and she listens, and she goes, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, have you done the price thing? Have you done this? Have you done that? I'm like, no. So she'd always send me back to the drawing board. But she was always over here doing this. And I was in my kitchen doing this. And finally, when I got it to a certain point, I said, I wanted a partner. And I wanted it to be Jeannie. And Jeannie was always too busy. Every time she had a little breathing room, she had 5 minutes. She goes, oh, okay, maybe I can do this with you now because I've now left this magazine or I've left this company. And before I could say, okay, she was snatched up by somebody else. And this went on for a couple of years. So I finally just thought, okay, I'm going to find someone else.
Yeah, find someone else.
Find someone else. You're out.
Jeannie, you're out.
And so I would find these other guys, and it just didn't quite work out. And I was just pining for her. And I think it was November 2012. I think were you working for Beachbody at the time? There were no plans, maybe.
I might have been a Beachbody, actually. Yeah, I can't remember.
And of course we were friends. So I was watching and listening and just taking it all in and just falling more and more in love with her. And finally she had this moment and I went, okay, now, come to me now. I need you now because I can't go any further without you. And she said, okay. And this was a partnership, right? And November, I think 2012, we started really, pedal to the metal, and she bought, everything got easier. Everything, we call her the genius, the Jeannie Fairy Dust.
All these names, the Queen of Connections, Genius, Startup Jeannie.
Yeah. And the thing, let me go back for a minute. When I started, even before I started the food thing, she was taking me to these food shows and just going from booth to booth to booth. And she knew everybody and she knew everything. And she knew all the background, whether it was a cosmetics company or a food company or whatever. She knew everything. And she'd go, watch them, listen to them, talk to them. I'm like, oh, okay.
But that's so Jeannie. And you know what? We're talking as if she's not there. And those of you who just tune in, Jeannie Edmunds, just this woman broadcasting for years, was in a Korean soap opera, was Larry King's producer, almost got killed by a machine gun in El Salvador. I mean, listen, the husband, God rest his soul, died from a brain tumor. She was on Tinder years later. She hooks up with a hottie. I mean, her daughter dances with fire. You're reading this and like, this is the energy that she takes when you work with her. Like, it's insanity, but you're right, Wendy. She'll be like, Maureen, did you read this? You got to read this. Did you read that? You have to do this. I'm with another company, Maureen. You got to go moderate it on Santa Monica Pier. I don't care how frizzy your hair gets. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
Has she ever taken you to, invited you to some, I don't know, event? And she takes me by the hand because I'm very social, but I'm not good at small talk. This one, she can talk to anyone about anything, anytime. It's amazing because she's so curious. She knows all this stuff. She's always ahead of the curve. She knows the trends before they're trends. But long story short, she got us in, what was it, November, December, January, 5 short months out of my kitchen and into the Anaheim, the food show. What's it like?
Expo West.
She found us a freezer case. She just for half price. She got it over there. She coordinated with the co-packer. She's not only a genius, but she also makes you feel really, really safe. You're in good hands. I was like, oh gosh, what about how many pops should we make? How many, should we have? Should we put them in cups? Should we have them on sticks? We had the best time.
But that's what when you read the book, Start Me Up, you see all these crazy tales, but all it does is inspire you. It does more than that, to just go, well, if she can bounce around doing all this and accomplish all that, I can too. And it's just, I think it elicits a confidence because you believe in people, Jeannie, so much. And somebody like Wendy who's very established performer, actress, and yet there are things you don't know how to do, of course. And she comes and she says, we got this. That's really, I think, your best gift, Jeannie.
Calm. We call her I call her Roro. Roro. She's always downstream. She's like, why are you doing that over there? Just go downstream. Just turn the boat around. Just put it up.
I gotta move in.
By the time, I think after a year after the food show, we were $1 million in sales. $1 million in sales. First to market item. No one had ever done it before. There was no room in the freezer case. We got in the freezer case. And she was no ego. You have no ego. Just no ego.
And these are called rubies.
Rockets. Ruby rockets. There's a little trademark glitch, but ruby rockets.
And they're made of all healthy stuff like kiwi and spinach.
Fruit and vegetables, no added sugar, no added stevia. Later on, how would you put it, Jeannie, when things switched around a little bit, they added some monk fruit, which I wasn't very happy with, but it still tastes great.
Is stevia bad? Because I was getting off equal on the stevia.
I think stevia is fine. But all I know is that I didn't want added anything because the whole motivation behind it was to show kids and moms that you can have a sweet tasting dessert using the natural sweetness that comes from fruits and vegetables. You don't need anything else. It was just naturally sweet from beets, sweet potatoes, oranges, strawberries. And a Rocket Red was still the bestseller.
Rocket Red,
Orbit Orange, Galaxy Green. And now there's Meteorite Mango and all that other stuff. And and then
we got into Oprah's picks, Oprah magazine and Parents. Weren't we in Parents magazine or something?
Parents magazine. We were on the Today Show. Rachel Ray wanted to.
Wow.
She just was magic behind that.
It was great.
I have the same birthday as Oprah. We share the same birthday, but it seems to have worked out a bit better from her. But I'm not jealous. There's no bitterness. There's nothing. It's just love. I don't want to hate people.
You don't hate her.
I don't hate. I love my Oprah. Don't make me hate you for even asking would I ever hate I love my Oprah. We need that energy in the world so much now. That caring for each other, the seeing, even in the darkest, trying to find some light behind what motivates people who are so dark. And, I mean that with my heart and soul. But, okay, Wendy, I have to ask you, Tom Hanks, tell me, what was it like working with him?
It's a dream.
Right?
Everything everybody says about him is absolutely true. He's a dream come true.
And guess what? He loves typewriters, and I love typewriters.
Does he love typewriters?
Yes, he went to this little typewriter store in Los Altos, California that has all the old ones, and he went in there and bought some. Yep, I bought mine there too. I spoke to the store owner. I know what's happening in the typewriter world. Oh, that's nice. And I hear he has a nice marriage. I like that. I hear Rita's a good person.
Yes, he is. Really good person.
Khloe Kardashian broke up with her boyfriend today again. And I keep thinking, how does he know if it's her? Because she keeps changing her face so much. Like, how does he know he broke up with the right person?
You get pictures.
Yeah, I guess you look at the pictures. Oh my God, Wendy! Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and I bow to the genius.
Oh, Wendy, thank you. I feel like I've been in my wake, Maureen.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, for fuck's sake, what the hell are you talking about? No, nonsense.
Oh my God.
You look good for a corpse.
Oh,
yeah, thank you.
You look good. And I just want people to follow Wendy at MAKKENA. Wendy McKenna, MAKKENA.
.net.
.net, because she's all over the network.
Under construction. Don't.
What'd you say?
Closely. It's under construction. Don't look too closely.
Yeah, don't look too closely. Check in a week. Wendy, thanks a trillion.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
That was nice, Jeannie, with the pops, Ruby Rockets.
You can see why I love working with startup companies, though, Maureen. It is the perfect antidote to all the negative news in the world, all the political stuff. It's just, it brings you a lot of joy.
I did a puzzle the other night. That helped me, and my family fought over where I can get an extra light bulb because they only move them from one lamp to the other. That's what we do. And then my father's like, that one is going to blind you. It's going to blind you. My mother, will you let her have that? I can't. The whole thing's insane. So I got to start helping people instead of, it's the first puzzle I did in 120 years. You have nice people in your life, Jeannie.
Including you.
Well,
especially you.
Especially, right?
Especially, exactly.
Oh my God. All right, let's go. Let us take you back, boys and girls, to Jeannie's childhood, shall we? Jeannie's mother, I want to do a proper intro. Her name is Ellen Ranson. She has a fascinating life. I read about her life. I said to Jeannie, my Lord, your mother was in Juilliard studying ballet, I believe, right?
Yes.
By the time she was 24, 4 kiddies. Acting, the dancing had to kind of be in the back burner. And then she started in her latter years. She was on a performing circuit called the Silver Circuit, which I love that. And I want to ask her to talk about you. Hello, Mrs. Ranson.
Look up.
Hello.
Hey, Mom.
Hey.
Over here.
Yeah, I see you.
You're looking the wrong way. Yeah.
Kind of discuss this.
Okay, there you are.
There you
You're
are.
there.
Times.
Maureen, I want to tell you, my philosophy, and Jeannie has followed it, is kindness, challenges, and laughter.
Aww.
Kindness, challenges, and laughter. And I think Jeannie has been bombarded with challenges, which she has met with both hands and both teeth.
You know what? That's very true.
Her name should be Genie.
Yes, like a Jeannie. Yeah. Ellen. So I want to acknowledge that, Jeannie. Sometimes I'm glib or I make a quick aside, but I never mean any disrespect because I know in your book the things you've gone through, and I've witnessed some of that. So while I might use a sense of humor to go, gosh, she went from South Korea and then dealt with brain tumors. I know what you dealt with, and I give you the utmost respect for that. So my wise assness is just to kind of keep things, moving.
Everybody has their crap, Maureen. Everybody has their stuff they go through.
Oi, said the Irish Catholic girl. Ellen, what now? When this daughter of yours, because I understand you have 3 sons, when she was growing up, what was she like?
A pain in the butt. She was very inquisitive, which is a good thing to be.
Yeah.
And she had 3 little brothers.
Oh, you're the eldest.
And so she really helped me with them. I never had time to teach her how to cook or anything like that because I was so busy with working for my husband. He got into politics. I was running his campaigns. I just had a hell of a busy time.
Well, it's okay that she doesn't know how to cook.
Yeah,
Now
she
I do.
knows how to cook now. She's a really good cook. I'm surprised at that.
So how did you deal with a daughter who's ADD? Because she admits that she is. And what was that like?
A daughter who is what?
Just had so many things going on in her head.
No, the main thing I remember is going upstairs and finding her painting the knobs out of her bed, her antique bed with nail polish.
Everybody does something bad at some time, Mom.
Well, that's creative, don't you think?
Yeah, it is creative. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it was creative.
Have you read her book yet?
Most of it.
And what do you think so far?
I have not read all of it, but I think
She read her chapter, Maureen. She read her
she's
chapter
got
first.
good ideas to help people to start businesses.
You have good ideas, or she does?
She does.
Well,
Listen, I started a bed and breakfast business. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
How did that turn out?
27 years of success.
Well, there you go. You did something right there.
Yep. And a guy left me a $50 tip one night.
What did you have to do for that?
You're terrible because all my friends ask me that. Okay, Ellen, what did you do for that? Yeah.
You are a character yourself, I have to say that. What is the Silver Circuit you were on? That's a really great title.
I know it. My stage partner and I entertain at retirement facilities. We do 60s song Broadway tunes and short scenes called senior moments.
Do you sing?
Yeah.
Would you do a little ditty for us right now?
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ellen Ranson, available for the Silver Circuit near you. What fun. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing that. And the audience, can really relate to those 60s Broadway show tunes.
Oh, that was wonderful.
And to the silver moments, when you can't remember something.
Senior moments.
And I'm 87 now. And to try to remember all that stuff sucks.
Well, when Joan Rivers, God rest her soul, would work out her material down at the Duplex Cabaret in the Village, I would sit in the front because she wanted people who would work with, they're not going to out her. They're not going to, I'm a performer. But she'd have her big tags, oak tag, we called it back on the floor. So she could see her notes written largely, her big straight to the floor. I don't blame her. So, Ellen, anything nice you want to say about your daughter before I say goodbye to you?
Don't make me cry, but I am so blessed. I had 4 kids by the time I was 27. I didn't know what I was doing. But when Jeannie came along, I quickly found out what I was supposed to do.
Very nice. It was nice to meet you, Ellen.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. It's so nice to see my daughter.
Thanks, Mom.
Who is
bringing people together. All right, Ellen, she's on the Silver Circuit. We're going to a couple more guests. Jeannie's book, Start Me Up. It's about a memoir about her insanely crazy, wonderfully deep, varied life, and the message that can be gleaned from that to have your own startup businesses. What you can learn from her personal memoir. Would you not say that's accurate?
Yes, and also it doesn't even have to be a business necessarily. I mean, some people are starting over by starting a new career, starting a new job, starting a new life in a new city.
Yes.
Starting over after divorce, after widowhood. You know, honestly, I mentioned this in the book a couple of times. I think that the ultimate start over people are immigrants. And there are immigrants who have started companies, but they're immigrants who travel to other countries with their children in tow, often with not very much money, and they're starting over with nothing. And it's really, it takes courage to do that. It takes courage to start. But I think if you don't have courage yourself, having someone to inspire you, to motivate you, to lift you up is what you need.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a family member, sometimes a mentor. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're not. This is all about you. Before I show the video of your daughter Margaret playing with fire, I want to introduce a friend you went to high school with, I believe, right?
Yes.
But set up just quickly. You said that you were really bullied growing up.
Yeah, in my memory, this lasted from first grade to seventh grade, every day, coming home crying from school because I was so bullied. And I was a very sensitive child, you know, and it is part of my story. And it's a part that I think people can relate to who have been bullied or who have bullied. If you're bullying, you shouldn't be bullying, right? Okay. But even though I've overcome it, it's a scar, you know, it's a wound. When you get it in childhood, it's a wound that kind of stays with you. So, Faye, I don't know if you want to give the story away, but Faye was a childhood friend of mine in elementary school.
Let her, yes, go ahead. I'll let her take it.
Go, Faye, tell the story.
Her childhood friend or classmate. Oh, we can't hear you, Faye. Turn on your mic, darling. It says it's on my end. She's still not talking to you. She didn't talk to you in school, and she's still not talking to you.
No, she talked to me. She did not bully me. Hello, Faye. Hello.
We had a fine connection earlier.
Oh, we did.
Okay, Faye, go check out and see what's happening, and we're going to go dance with fire.
Okay, let's do that.
See where your output, check your mic settings, see where the output and input is on your computer. I should be working in Silicon Valley. Okay, I feel like. So your daughter, Margaret, she is somebody who has your spirit of checking out 80 million things in life, right?
Yes. Well, she's in her 20s. That's what you're supposed to do in your 20s, I guess, try different things. She is an artist. She's an example. The reason I put her in the book is she's an example of an artist entrepreneur. And artists can be very good at entrepreneurship. They just need a business partner, somebody with a little business sense and some organizational sense, because a lot of artists have this superpower that I have, ADD. And she is one of them. I mean, she started hooping first with the hula hoop. Somebody taught her how to do that. And that really kind of spoke to her. It's not just hula hoops, the hula hoops of our childhood. It's really considered a flow art now. They do all these different tricks with them. And then the same person that taught her hooping taught her fire dancing. And then after she started fire dancing, she started making clothes for fire dancers. And that's where her entrepreneurship journey started. But believe me, I didn't tell her, hey, girl, go pick up some fire, because it's not anything that I would suggest that she do, but she loves it.
Let's show a video. When Jeannie said, I have a little video, Maureen, of my daughter Margaret dancing with fire, I'm like, okay, what's happening? I know what's happening. But it is incredible, you guys. You're going to be blown away by how it's stunning. So I'm going to bring her, it's a short video. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you know, she used to jump horses when she was younger. She started riding when she was 6 or 7. And the minute she caught air, you know, going over a fence, I knew she was hooked. You know, she's just thrilled by thrills, you know, cheap thrills, living on the edge. And this is what drew her to it in the first place. But now she sees it as more of an art form. It's therapy. It's focus for somebody who has a kind of a scattered mind, like, you know, ADD people tend to have. It really focuses her, and you can't not have focus when you're playing with fire, of course. And she also makes pretty good money at it, honestly. She's not somebody who's going to take a $10 an hour job, you know, or a $15 an hour job. She can make a lot of money. I mean, she can do 2 15-minute shows and make $200-300 in tips.
It really is artistic. I did not know what I would see, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Magic. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And the reason we show that, well, one, because it's incredible, but 2, because that's in Jeannie's book, Start Me Up, available on Amazon. It's these type of things too. People shifting, whoever they are, whether it be a business model or more of an artistic model, or whether it be popsicles that are healthy or skincare for people of color. So I want to see if we can get your school friend. Let's see if we have her sound. Faye, can we hear you, darling?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
hey,
we can.
Hi. Sorry, I had to change. Thank you for the microphone tip. Yeah, Jeannie was a childhood friend of mine, and I noticed how she was very creative. I loved being around her. I loved going to her home. And what really bothered me was that the kids at school would really pick on her a lot. They would call her a certain name, and it was ongoing. And I was very guilty because I never jumped in and came to her defense. So many years later, I talked to my father, got her number from her father, and I called her and I said, Jeannie, I said, I just want to say I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart that I didn't stand up and defend you. I loved you and respected you, but I saw how much it hurt her when they did this to her. And it's just something I think that if you have been a part of bullying and you just let it go and not stand up for your friends, please, people, stand up for your friends, because it is an emotional scar that will never go away. Yes, they say it makes you stronger. I don't think so.
Well, why do you think they were picking on Jeannie?
She was the new kid in town. All the rest of us had formed sort of groups and cliques, and Jeannie came to town. She was a young girl. She was very happy, very outgoing. And I think some of the kids resented that because they had been from a small town and didn't have that, the world knowledge, so to speak. So, and I loved her because I loved her mother. And her mother was
like Jeannie. You really liked her mother.
No, but I loved Jeannie because I saw that Jeannie, no matter what life threw her, she remained happy. And she had a kind heart. And that's why and so when I reached out to her, it was closure for me because I feel that, she endured a lot.
Well, Faye, that was so sweet. Jeannie, please acknowledge that with some deep feeling.
I have to tell you, she called me 40 years after, I'm in the middle of production one day. I think it was at Beachbody. And I get this call from this strange number, and I pick it up, and it's her. And she says, I just want to tell you, I'm so sorry. I almost dropped the phone. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. And I cannot tell you how healing that is. Even though she's not the one who bullied me.
No.
She just apologized for not protecting me. But it was so healing. It was like somebody, they say when you have children, you heal parts of yourself through your child's life, right? But this phone call, I just felt I wanted to have Faye on today because I just appreciated that call so much. And I put the story in the book. Thank you, Faye.
Faye, you have a beautiful heart.
Thank you, Jeannie. Bye.
This is Jeannie's book party, which we're wrapping up now. Jeannie Edmunds. Her book is Start Me Up, and we're going to go out with a gospel choir that she took part in. But before I let her set that up, again, Start Me Up on Amazon.com. And if you want to continue to support Hanging with Langan, you can do so. I appreciate it. You can go to patreon.com, Maureen Langan, patreon.com, and you get different levels. You get different things. You'll get a Don't Make Me Hate You t-shirt. You'll get a comedy show or some public speaking coaching, whatever you'd like. You get all the videos. It's the only place you get all the video podcasts, and there's some bonus ones that I put up there that are pretty dishy and interesting. So it runs the gamut. And next Wednesday, I'm doing a very special show I'm moderating. It's a documentary called Stranger at Home, and it's about our service people. And when they are discharged for mental illness, what happens to them is disgusting. It is absolutely gut-wrenchingly disgusting. They are limited in the future what jobs they can hold. They are not honorably discharged, either discharged or dishonorably discharged. There's a whistleblower who will be on this panel. He was a Navy commander, and he said he went up the chain to everyone. And the director, Beth Dolan, she's been working on this. There's a lot of interest nationally. It's been winning tons of awards. So I'm going to be honored to moderate that next week. And I hope I'll keep promoting it and posting it on the .com on Facebook. But please tune in for that because it's so damn friggin' important. And another way to keep supporting the show is PayPal or Venmo at Mo Langan. Always appreciate it. And now, Jeannie, before we say goodbye and about your book, Start Me Up, this book party, you want us to go out on a video. Set that up.
Yes. When I lived in LA, when I was spending most of my time in LA, I'm in Texas right now. I was doing some work at Lacey, which is the LA Clean Tech Incubator, where they have clean tech, green tech companies. And I was sitting in the lunchroom talking to a friend there, and I was telling her how much I missed singing. And I was telling the story about singing in the White House and so forth. She said, "Oh, you got to come join my gospel choir." I said, "No, I've talked to these choirs around town in LA, and they all require auditions, and I don't have a pianist and music and so forth to do." She said, no auditions. Anybody can come in. It's great. Try it. So I go over to Pasadena to their first rehearsal on a Tuesday night in a church in Pasadena. I find people of all ages, all races, all genders, all religions and no religion, some atheists in there, for this non-denominational choir that sings nothing but gospel music. And I have to tell you that it made my heart sing. I would cry during rehearsals. It was so emotional. And when we had our performance, I'm in this clip. You'll see me to the far right, second from the back, the blonde, in the black shirt with the little red thing around my waist. I can't move like the other people are doing. I'm kind of out of sync with everybody.
I'm glad you said that.
I know you wanted to say that, but it was so much fun. It filled my soul. And even watching the videos today filled my soul. And I just encourage anybody to do something outside of what you do for work, to give yourself a spiritual lift. This is what I did.
Well, we're going to go out on that. Jeannie's book, Start Me Up, on Amazon. I want to thank all of your wonderful friends for being here with us on Hanging with Langan. Make sure you subscribe at Apple and Spotify and iHeart. Now, Jeannie said it herself, but you have got to see this video. She will be the white blonde woman with a red sash near the back right, who is not in keeping with the other people moving. That's how you'll know. It doesn't matter what she's wearing. It doesn't matter if she's the person is not moving with the others. All right, you guys, and we'll see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.